YouTube, good morning. It's the 20. Close this door a little bit. You guys know sound travels. Of March. Sorry, I'm sorry. 21st of March. See if I can get a dual Google on this phone. Yeah. 21st of March. Zodiac daily. Blah 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 blah. You guys know how I like to do play it slow. I got my other phone going here. I'm trying to figure out how to bring this topic of discussion in. Trying to figure out how to bring this topic of discussion in. And usually when I sit down at the when I try to think about stuff, I'm playing some keys, most likely working out. Chord. Let me see if I wonder if I can go do a YouTube with this. How much juice I got? I got juice on this phone. Dismiss that. Chord. Family. Names. Should pop up. Piano. Should pop right up. Here it is. Okay. I was cleaning a swimming pool yesterday, and I was asking one of my clients, or the client at the house, how their child was progressing with music, because I'm interested. I am very interested, and she has two very intelligent boys. Matter of fact, I've been servicing her account so long. I was there before she had the kids. Very, very good person. I'm drinking my C4. And she explained to me that this client, I'm gonna call her Sue to protect the name of the innocent. I was asking her, how the kids are doing with their music. And she said they're doing good, and it sounded as if she was gonna say one is kind of waning and one was going this way. How can we do this? One was going this way, others kind of going that way. And I guess this is the trend I was talking about. This is the trend I was talking about, where you would have a child or an adult start learning music, and I didn't know I could do that. Sorry, I'm going sideways. I'm going sideways. Help me stay grounded. Help me stay grounded. Um, and she said one's got to prepare for a recital, and the other one is going to he's going to get accepted into a gifted program. Very intelligent children. Very intelligent children. Very intelligent. Very intelligent children. And I would say their intellect. If you meet the father, he's some type of engineer, some type of very 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 intelligent. Like he said some stuff to me, and I was like, I didn't know how to respond back. I didn't know, my mind could not comprehend it, and I'm not a I'm if you open up the drawer, I'm not the spoon though. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like the fork or the butter knife. but he said something. I was like, yeah, let me think about that. Let me think about that. Wasn't too complex, but he's a chemist or something like that. And she is, I don't know what I've got to ask Deanne what she. I'm sorry, I gotta ask Sue what she was. I have to ask her what she used to do. I knew they're about my age. But anyway, going back to what the children are learning. She says they're about to be accepted in a gifted program, one of them, a School of Performing Arts, which is good. Get your fingers right. One's about to be accepted in the School of Performing Arts. And I was just asking her what they're learning. And she didn't know. And that kind of surprised me. She didn't know. And she kind of didn't know. And I'm just amazed at when I ask the parents, what's the child learning, and we don't know. That is bothersome to me to a certain extent. And I said, well, what are they listening to? And she was like, well, we don't really listen to music in the house. We don't even have I don't know if she said we don't have internet access or they don't have internet access, because I know somebody's got to have internet access, maybe inside the house. But the children live I wouldn't say, for the lack of I wouldn't say sheltered, but I'm going to say sheltered. And she says she doesn't let them listen to the internet, and I kind of agree to a certain extent. Where it's a good thing, but too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, because I grew up as a very sheltered child. PK, pastor's kid. Church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, gotta do it again. PCAF, Apostolic, Assemblies of God, and my take on that is too much of a good thing can be bad. We want to teach our children to have balance. To have balance. A guy, he has a podcast, Deontay. Look him up if you are under a certain age listening to this. If you're an adult listening to this, look him up, Deontay Grits and Eggs podcast, and he suggested a movie called Suncoast on Hulu, and it was a very good movie. And the daughter's mentioning the daughter's going to a Christian school. I'm not gonna give a spoiler alert. I can't give a spoiler alert, but it's a very good movie. So Deontay, if you ever see this and you mention people not showing up, if they're gonna be on your podcast, blah 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 blah. I got a little bit of something going on here, I think, that you may be interested in. I like your stories. You remind me, I'm 47. You're about 34, 44. Yeah, we got some good stories that we could bounce off of, man. I enjoy the podcast a lot. But I'm digressing. But the girl is living I wouldn't even say that she's living an overly sheltered life, but her mother, I can't even say it. But here's the thing, because I want you guys to go see the movie. Here's the thing. Too much of a good thing is a bad thing. You can actually be getting in the way of your child's light. You can be throwing shade on his light, their light. You can be throwing shade on their light, because when they're that shelter and when they get out into the working world, or the world how it is, no bueno. You can either go this way, you can either go that way. And I'm just telling you that from experience, from all that I've seen. Too much of a good thing is I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool where you guys don't have these influences. But I looked at my wife. We don't have children yet, but I told her, I don't like that way. I'm just trying out a couple things on some minuet. Too much of a good thing can be bad, because when we started talking about music, and I've got to bring it back to music, I'm gonna try to keep this strictly not strictly grounded in music, but the topics of conversation is always gonna lead back to music. Even the grits and the grits and egg podcast, if you go back to his earlier shows, he's in the music scene. And his podcast has mutated. Mutated. It is. He still sticks with music at the same time. Anyway, but too much of a bad thing, too much of a good thing can actually be bad. Because when I started asking her about the music, I said, "What are they learning?" She didn't know. I said, "Well, what do you guys listen to in the house?" And she said, "We don't listen to music." And I was like, "Wow." And I respect everyone's choices and preferences. However, if I was the music teacher, I would say we gotta get some of the dishes. We've got to introduce you to some other forms of music. Some Stevie Wonder, some Force MDs. We've got to introduce you to even some simple, even we still got to get back to that song. But I've got to introduce you to some more music. I got to introduce you to some more music, which means that in order for me to teach them about chord families, I've got to you've got to understand what how chords move. When we talk about music theory, everybody makes it seem like it's this big, oh, music theory, music theory. It's not. I know there's some more. It's like if you listen to a Sly Stone historian on Hulu, he said that his professor taught me 8 years of what he knew in 6 months. 8 years within 6 months. And yeah, is it that simple? Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. So, and I was asking, I said, have they started working on, improvising? And we talk about improvising. If I could take a simple song as, the Minuet in G major, and of course, if we're looking at the song, it's Minuet in G major. So a part of the music theory is, okay, if you're looking at Minuet in G major, first part of one part of music theory is that one, you're gonna be looking at that key signature. Sorry, sometimes I gotta remember the names. That one sharp means that it is in the key of G. And that one sharp is the key of F sharp. So another part of music theory is when you hear that tonic is in the bass. So we're going from the one to the we're going to the third, and the third happens to be a minor sound. If we move into the fourth now, the fourth happens to be a major sound. So music theory, if you can explain it properly, it's not really a big hoopla. Even when it comes to classical music, it's not that big of a deal. You got the key signature, which is written in 3/4. It's a waltz. I like making this song kind of in a kind of a harpsichord sound, because I believe I don't think the piano was even invented around this time. Uh, okay. The clavicle wasn't even invented. Hold on. Going down, going down, going down. Honky tonk piano. There we go. So probably around this time, John Johann Sebastian Bach. You know, that's how he probably played it. You know, off the harpsichord, which predates the piano or precedes the piano. I'd have came in and Bach would have been mad at me. Bach would have been mad at me. Bach would have been mad at me. But how can I explain this? How can I explain this to the child or even to the parent if there is no music inside the house? How can I explain different elements of music if you take the I Love You Lord, which is in the key of F. You know, the first thing that the child is going to do or the adult is going to do is going to say, okay, if it's written in 4/4, you know, that means that there's going to be 4 beats per, say this is the measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one measure right there. So it's written in I love you. You know, so it's like, okay, so why were you able to make those 2 songs work? Got 2 phones going here at one time. If you want to do, there's a site called, look at introducing the chord families on worship music lessons. On this channel, I'm gonna give you guys stuff that I went to as a better understanding. You know, you got the tonic, the supertonic, the median, the subdominant, the dominant 5, the sub-median, the diminished, back to the tonic again. And all those mean different things when you're playing music. Let me see if I can come in with let me turn some of these notifications off. Tom Delaney, the anthem is in what key?
Tom Delaney, the anthem is in what key?
Okay, hold on. I didn't want that. Hold on for 1 second here. And I'm going to explain a little bit of music theory, how my brain thinks. Tom Delaney, the anthem is in what key? Okay, the anthem is in G minor. It is in G minor. And the relative of G minor that's the 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. sharp, D sharp, E, F, G major, G minor. So here's the weird thing. So why did this, and this is the part that I'm gonna teach in music theory. We got a key of F. Okay? Key of F now, keep this in mind. So why did I take it over to now mind you, Tom Delaney's the anthem. So we got the G, D. So it's starting on G minor. Which is we got A, C, E, G, A7. It's almost a F, A, C, E. No, so we got the, remember, let's go do it again. And this is the part that I'm going to be teaching students. I'll say, well, why did that work? So that's in the G minor. If it's written in G minor, the only way I can make sense of it is this B flat, maybe? There's a G minor. Weird. So stuff like that I'm going to be pulling out. I'm like, well, why did that work there? And I'm thinking the only reason why I'm thinking that is possibly working with this is because of that G minor. There's your G minor right there. So music heads, help me out. So yeah, because you can't. See how I picked that G minor up after that because you care for me? See, that didn't work there. So another thing that I'm probably going to teach is music is all about discovery. Music theory also is all about discovery. It's like, what made that work? But how can I teach this again if too much of a good thing becomes a bad thing? It's like, well, we don't listen to music. No shade, but how are we gonna sit down and explore different options of music? Because what I'm going to do to that child and that adult, how am I going to explain to that child or that person that, hey, there's other types of music? You know, how am I going to explain to them if they start learning earbus? How am I going to explain to them? Do it. How am I going to explain where am I getting all this great music from? How am I going to explain that? And then I asked another question. I said, do you or your husband play music? And it was a no. And I said, it was a resounding no. It was a resounding no. And I actually sold her on the product. I said, my goal really isn't to teach your son music theory. You know, if I can teach you music theory, get you to sit down and understand or if I can get you to understand did I do that from memory right? If I can get you guys to understand music theory, it wouldn't be we gotta wait for his music teacher to get to him anymore. It wouldn't be that we've gotta wait for their music teacher to get to them anymore. It would actually be, yeah, I'm gonna sit down and try that with them. That's the goal. That's my goal. Is to get the parents to engage with the children. And what she told me was that she didn't have any time. She said, I don't even have time to work out. But I'm like, y'all got a maid though, cleaning service. I said, I know she ain't the tutor. Oh my God. How did our parents do it back in the day? That's another topic of conversation. My goal is to get to the parents to say, hey, you know, to play this earbus. Watch out, cause she'll show you love. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Whoa. Hold on. Let me see. Man eater. She's a man eater. she's a man eater. I forgot Daryl Hall and the Oats did that one. Man Eater by Daryl Hall and the Oats is written in what key? So we got it written in the key of B minor or D major. Oh, here she comes. A capo on the second result. That's interesting. She only goes out at night. She's a man hungry type. So if it's written in, wait, so we got it in the key of D major. So we're starting on the fifth. So, oh, here she comes could be on the key of, she only comes out at night, she's a mean and hungry type. See, now I'm going off on a tangent. It's 5:13. I got to get to the gym. Let me see. Music notes. Let me go here. I don't know if trying to get this to come on. Music notes. Music notes. Oh, man eater. No thanks. But how do I got it. Jeez. Okay. Let me see. Lean and hungry type. Shit lonely. Chill. So. Chill. So we're going with the A. So we're going with the okay, anyway. My ears are hearing it differently. But anyway, too much of a good thing could be bad. Too much of a good thing can be a bad thing, and it can be blocking your child's light. You gotta keep introducing them to new music. And yes, the internet is bad and the internet is good at the same time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Is too much of a bad thing, too much of a good thing bad? And if you were to introduce your child to new music, how would you go about doing that? Especially with these conditions that you've placed, especially if you don't listen to music. How are you going to expand, number one, your vocabulary and your child's musical vocabulary? Peace.